Chapter 750. Roy unleashed his domain, the heavenly thunder domain again. Thunderous noises could be heard. A giant upper body appeared on top of Tay. It was a skeleton with a skill that was several meters wide in radius. The upper body was over 10 meters wide, and there was a huge sword on the left arm. The skeleton was ignited in spiritual flames and was covered in runes. Benedict was levitating on top of the skeleton. He looked at Wilbur coldly. A threatening spiritual pressure exuded from the skeleton. It rose to the sky and enveloped the mountain top. It was frightening to the people. That was Tay's domain, Siren. Siren was a mythology that represented destruction. Legend had it that when people looked directly at Siren, they could not escape death. It was only a representation of Siren, but it was terrifying enough for the people. Meanwhile, Benedict shouted. Spiritual flames surged on him, and countless runes appeared in the flames. 3 triangles appeared in his eyes. They started to spin slowly. His silhouette became blurry as if his physical form was fading away from the world. The area where he was looking would be affected. The spiritual pressure he exuded was no weaker than any other shadow-level experts. Benedict unleashed his Duman, the Eye of Asanagi. It was said that the eyes of Asanagi had the ability to reverse time. People would be trapped in time until they went crazy or died before they were freed. It was abnormally horrible. Andrew also shouted at that moment. His body suddenly grew to 5 meters tall. His clothes were ripped, and only a loincloth made from spiritual energy was left on him. His muscles were as solid as steel, but there were no spiritual flames on his body. Instead, his body was covered in runes like tattoos. A terrifying spiritual pressure instantly enveloped the mountaintop. Everyone felt pressured as if there was a mountain on top of them. It was an indication of pure power. He was so terrifyingly powerful that it was beyond comprehension. It was his domain, the powerful Armistice. Armistice was the wrestling god of Keratopia. According to the legend, Armistice could move mountains and was invincible. Andrew was a remarkable shadow-level expert. His pure strength alone was enough to kill saint-level cultivators. The 4 shadow-level experts unleashed their domains. 4 spiritual pressures surged to the sky and caused the wind to howl, and clouds covered the sun. Wilbur was surrounded by them. He had to endure 4 spiritual pressures at the same time. They could only imagine his suffering. Yumi looked displeased, but she was more worried than ever. She felt that she would have been blown away if they had not focused their target on Wilbur. She had to use all her spiritual energy just to sit properly and barely kept the chair together. She felt like a lone boat in the ocean that might be flipped over any time. The Gardner experts could not stand behind her anymore. They were forced to step back. The cultivators and the ninjas knelt on the ground. They wanted to show their admiration and respect with the most respectful posture. Seth and the others were trembling on the ground. They felt very regretful at that moment. They wondered why they entered the dangerous battlefield. However, it was not possible for them to leave anymore. The powerful spiritual pressure made them weak in their knees. They only wished for the battle to end soon, so they could escape the place. The 4 shadow-level experts shouted at the same time. Die, you ignorant fool! Roy wielded his thunder spear and cast the thunder of destruction at Wilbur again.